On the outskirts of Beijing, the end-of-season pigeon auction is underway. There are 540 birds to be sold, and the starting price for each is £350. Instead of art, it's pigeons these well-off Chinese men and women are buying. This year, a record $1 million was paid by an owner from China for a prized Belgian bird. To find out why an ancient pastime is attracting such big spending, we visited Beijing's training and breeding centres and followed the races where winnings run into the millions.
是我的鸽子那个第一次得冠军，谁得了冠军之后都是非常高兴的。另外还有100万的那个奖金。
Every day at sunrise, the chief trainer and his team at the Huashunde Pigeon Club release the flock for a 4-hour training session. There are more than 4,000 birds kept there by owners from across the region.
现在这个加飞这一块就是每天如果说是鸽子在一定的状态下，咱们一定要飞到那个让鸽子一定要飞足了，就是不是那个是以时间来控制，飞2个小时也是多长时间，咱们会以看那个鸽子那个飞行的动作。
Unpredictable weather conditions and their tendency to fly in groups makes it hard for any one bird to dominate. Mr. Fang watches carefully for potential prize winners.
这个只能是大体看咱们哪一部分鸽子，单一的这个现在是看不出来的，因为这个假如说你300公里飞了个前3名，但是400公里或者是天气不允许呀，各方面都会影响它的飞行那个时间，对。
I became quite captivated watching the pigeons do their laps.
I did not expect to enjoy the experience of having over 4,000 birds flying above my head, but we've been watching them for over 3 hours now, and it's actually quite calming and mesmerising. And they've disappeared.
China has a long history of pigeon racing, dating back 7 centuries to the Ming Dynasty, but has only recently developed such a huge following, largely among the country's rising middle classes, for whom pigeons have become an unlikely luxury item. With so much money at stake, breeding is key. There are now an estimated 100,000 breeders in Beijing alone. Li Da is one of those trying to find the perfect pair. I followed him, rather nervously at first. Into one of his breeding coops to be shown what it takes to make a winner.
从这个呢，就是从外观上看的比较多了。第一个呢，看它那个肌肉和骨架一定要硬，肌肉要软硬适度啊。完了以后呢，看绑条看的那个就是比如这块吧，一定要厚，哎。完了以后呢，你看那绑条。
After some resistance from its mother, Lee was able to show me one of the newest born. This 10-day-old squab is the offspring of 2 prize-winning pigeons. The lineage of both the mother and father important.
And are you hoping one day these will be champion pigeons?
OK， 肯定希望他将来飞成冠军，哈哈啊。
Finally, it came to race day. This was the final regional competition of the spring season in Beijing. The pigeons were tagged, logged, and then loaded into lorries to be driven to the starting line. Their owners hoping their birds might win them a lot of money. Song Lijiang was feeling confident his would do well.
兴奋呀，肯定的，争取拿前10名。
Xu Wenjiang entered 500 of her pigeons in the race. She inherited her love for the sport from her father.
飞的挺好的，因为必须得训练它。然后呢，它就像那个运动员一样，是吧？它的那个歌语，就比如说它的羽毛啊或者什么的，然后都是有关系的。
And like top athletes, the birds must be properly fueled and hydrated for the competition. Jiang Chunfang managed to carry out the somewhat surgical-looking process while telling us about her chances.
就在这儿飞1000公里
1000公里当指挥，
冠军、亚军。
This was one of 4 race registration points to process almost 20,000 pigeons.
不管有多远，他都努力的飞回家。哎，就这种说实在的，就是这种意志品质，是人最喜欢鸽子的出发点。
At dawn the next day, in neighbouring Henan province, the birds were released. It is a fast and furious process, during which the pigeons appeared at their most competitive, fighting to get free and find their way home. Wang had 77 of his birds in the race. It took the fastest of them 6 hours to cover the 300-mile distance to return to him. It was also the race day at the training centre. The return rate there was higher, and so were the winnings. Back at the auction, the bids were hotting up. The biggest spender on the day applauded for his £50,000 purchase. Pigeons have certainly become a hot ticket item in China. A casual hobby has become one of the country's most competitive sports.